Hello, Zen Project 8 community. Mark MacDonald here, and I'm super excited for us to do our Monday night webcast. Now, as you can see, we are missing one of our beloved hosts, the Cassiah Jay. Cassiah's traveling. She just got to Orlando, so you have me for tonight. But you also have in that little corner in your box there, Bonnie Schrader. When we look at her, she's a little ZP8. She does everything for us, from social media to managing the group. She is our everything from that perspective. So Bonnie, thanks so much for helping us out tonight. So next week, Cassiah will be back and we'll be hosting the show together. But for everyone new, tonight's a cool one. Tonight's a cool show, and it's about beyond the 8 weeks. So I want you to get a piece of paper out. It's going to be a 20-minute experience that you and I are going to have tonight. And it's going to be a live coaching session. And my goal is going to be simple. I want to help you look beyond after you take on the detox phase, ignite phase, and you start the thrive phase. After you've achieved the goal that you want to achieve with your health, whether it's to lose weight, burn body fat, build muscle, what's the next step for you? You know, I have a good friend of mine, and just for everyone new here, if you want all the details, you go to zenproject8.com, explain everything about the program, you go to our YouTube channel, and then there's a Zen Project 8 closed Facebook group that walks you through all the steps. And on the homepage alone, we are working on a whole step-by-step system that you can easily follow. And this is our in-between mode here with our Google Hangouts. What we're gonna be able to do is soon, because YouTube's making some changes, well, Google's making some changes, and we're gonna eventually just be live streaming right from the YouTube channel. But at hangouts.zenproject8.com is where you can find this week, next week, and then the shift should happen. So get that piece of paper out, and I want you to ask yourself right now, are you in a rut or are you in a rhythm? I have a friend of mine, and they've been struggling with their health. They rocked the program. They dropped about 45 pounds, burned fat, really understood how to make their food work. And then slowly and steadily, a pound would come back here, a couple pounds there. You fast forward a few months, they've gained back 25 pounds. Now they understand how to eat in threes. They've detoxed, they've ignited, but they took a rhythm that they were in and shifted into a rut. And it can happen in a split second. So tonight, as you start asking yourself, as you hear me share 4 strategies that will help you go beyond the 8 weeks, I want you to really be aware of it. Right now, do you feel that you're in an amazing food rhythm, exercise rhythm, or do you feel yourself starting to hit a rut? Is boredom starting to creep in? So ask yourself that, and then that sets you up to win, to really go beyond the 8 weeks. I have a quote I want to share with you, because we get motivated, and starting is easy. We've all been there. So you want to get that weight off, you want to get the pounds off, or you want to build the muscle, you want more energy. It's easy to start. But beyond the 8 weeks is, how do you keep that momentum going? And a quote I want to share with you before we dive into more content is this. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it talks about, when you look at it, getting healthy isn't a race. It doesn't matter when you cross the finish line. All that matters is you cross it. I want you to think about that right now. That as you go beyond the 8 weeks, as you enter into your 9th week, your 10th week, your 11th week, it's not how fast you get there, but it's when you do eventually cross that finish line. The Olympics is a perfect time for us to talk about this topic, because if you think about the journey an Olympian takes, the 4 years of training, probably the training from when they were a youth to teenagers to when they make that moment, all of that consistent work, 1% at a time, understanding that it's not that quick fix. It's the consistent work to stay in rhythm, to understand you might have some moments of burnout, you might fall into a rut, but getting healthy, just like becoming an Olympian, just like succeeding in anything in life, it doesn't matter when you cross that finish line. All that matters is you cross it. As we look at beyond the 8 weeks, that is going to be our theme tonight. So get your piece of paper out, and let's dive into the 4 strategies. So the first thing is this. I want you to look at setting new goals. So you had goals when you detoxed. You have goals when you hit the ignite phase. You got your 7-day detox goals. You have your 3-week ignite phase goals. You might repeat the ignite phase for another 4 weeks. So you might go right into your thrive phase. Now, let's say you've achieved those goals or you're on the brink of achieving them. Well, you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards with your health. In a perfect world, we want to feel like we can maintain, that you can just stand there and be in that moment. But realistically, you can't. You're always either moving forward or you're moving backwards. So set new goals as you move beyond the 8 weeks. Now, what does that mean? I want you right now to write down 3 goals that you actually want to achieve as you make your program a new way of life. 3 goals that I always want. I want to consistently be stronger, faster, and fitter as Hunter gets older. He's 11 years old right now. Baby Hope is 1 year old. So that's one of my biggest goals, is that I consistently have, that never changes, is I want to continue to be able to be the active dad that I'm with him. He had a soccer tournament this weekend. We're going camping this upcoming weekend. I want to go fishing with him. I want to swim with him. I want to be able to do all these things with him. So I'm always clear on that's a goal that keeps me in rhythm. Another goal is I want to stay lean and healthy. I want to look and feel good. It's way beyond the looks part of it, obviously, but the feeling part of it. Not just so I can be a parent and a husband, but so I have the energy to achieve the things I want to achieve. And then a third goal I have is I want to be the best 44-year-old soccer player I can be. I play with kids. I play with teenagers. I play with current professionals. I play with great amateurs. I want to be sharp. I don't want to be the has-been on the field. So I'm aggressively training to continually being the best I can be on the field. See, those are 3 goals that are beyond the 8 weeks. They're not about weight numbers. They're not about body fat percentages. They're about real objectives that improve my quality of life. And that's my invitation to you. Maybe you're week 1 in your detox phase. Maybe you're right in your ignite phase. Or maybe you're rocking your thrive phase. Wherever you sit right now in the program, maybe you're 6 months in, I want you to write down 3 goals that take you beyond the 8 weeks. 3 goals that are not numbers. Now, if you want to set new numbers goals, go for it. But remember, do it at a pace that works for you, at a 1% effort, but realistic, attainable goals that will help prevent the boredom, make you clear on why you're doing what you're doing, and help keep you in rhythm. So set new goals. The second thing is going to be focusing on diversifying and creating more food choices. Right now, I want you to write down boredom or scream boredom. Bonnie, with your little picture right there, say boredom. Boredom is the killer of your health goals. Just know that. So the key for you now is to look at new food choices. Now, the way we created Zen was simple. The ZP8 program is that detox is super strict. Detox is your body, gives your body an oil change. The ignite phase shifts from giving your body an oil change and cleansing yourself to actually turn your body into a fat burning machine. The thrive phase is all about making a way of life, not just for you, but for your family and for your friends. So this is a little document here. When I talk about Zen Project 8, this is the thrive phase program. I'm going to show you the new food choices. So there's a couple things when we look at expanding your food choices and setting yourself up to win. Let me just screen share here with you. So look at from the protein side. So we build this upon from the detox phase to the ignite phase to the thrive phase. And the biggest thing here is when we start looking at the food choices you're going to do is you can start bringing some dairy back in the thrive phase. So Greek yogurt, you can bring in some cottage cheese if you'd like from this perspective, and other cheese. And I'm going to share a picture with you lately on the next number, what we just ate at Moe's this weekend, and add a little cheese on that. So you can add a little more variety. The worst thing that you can do as you take on this program, as you live it and make it a way of life, is feel like you can't have something. On your piece of paper right now, I want you to say there is no can't. You can eat whatever you want. It's just understanding how to do it. So in the thrive phase, you'll see what's new to the program. And then we obviously bring some processed fats back in. Now, I'm not saying go and butter it up every meal or start having some sour cream as a salad dressing. They're still processed. So you have to make sure as you set your new goals that your actions meet your expectations, that the effort you're willing to put in will allow you to achieve those goals you're setting for yourself. But if you want to have a little butter on a potato, you can do that. If you want to have a little guac or mayonnaise, you can do these things. And I'm talking about guac that's not just natural made, smushed avocado, but a little more processed guac. Then you look at some additional stuff. Obviously, if you can say gluten-free, that's fantastic. But you can add some hot cereal. You can add some bread. You can add some pasta. You can add some condiments here with barbecue sauce and ketchup and mustard, and bring in a little salt. Remember, salt makes you hold some fluid. Every gram of salt holds on to about 3 to 4 water molecules, just like processed carbs do. But these are new items, and you can download these documents right from zenproject8.com, or when you order if you order the Transform Kit, then you'll get these printed out pages, booklet that I showed you. But these are new food choices. Now, another thing you're going to add when I look at expanding your food choices, and this is from the doc here, is an off-plan meal. An off-plan meal doesn't mean that you're going to just go for it on a day. A lot of times when someone feels like they're on a diet, they're feeling like they have to do something for the rest. Like that's all they can starve themselves 6 days a week, and then they can just eat whatever they want for one day. That's not what this is all about. An off-plan meal is exactly what it is. It's one meal a week. So if you want some pizza, if you want a hamburger and French fries, if you want to go for it, like an off-plan meal that I love when I eat off-plan is I'll go to my favorite pizza place is Romeo's. I'll get I'll get pepperoni, half cheese pizza. I'll probably have about 4 to 5 slices. I'll get a nice salad with a bunch of croutons on it because I love croutons. I'll have some mozzarella sticks, and then there's a Cold Stone right across from it. And if I'm not too full, I might hit a little Cold Stone. That's an off-plan meal. I eat in threes all the way up to that. I have my off-plan meal. I'm going to get a little bloated from it. I'm going to wake up a little heavier the next day. I'll be a little more lethargic, but I go into it knowing that. And then I simply, 4 hours after that meal, I have a Zen Fuse shake and I'm right back on plan. That's the strategies on how you can actually expand your food choices. So living beyond the 8 weeks is to make sure that you feel like you're living and you're evolving your program into a way of life. We didn't create this program. We didn't launch our movement to end the dieting madness, to get people great results for 8 weeks. And then just like my friend who started gaining the weight back, even though he had the knowledge, he started gaining the weight back because he couldn't shift from beyond the 8 weeks. We created this so that you can take your body to the next level, make it a way of life, include your family, including your friends, and then expand that message so that people can actually own their food, eat the foods they love, and still get the results they want. So number 1 is you set new goals. You got that. Number 2 is you expand your food choices, and the Thrive phase will help you with that and add that off-plan meal. Now, you don't have to do a weekly off-plan meal. I do an off-plan meal every 2 weeks because I still want to continue driving. Once a week is a little too much for me, so I do it every 2 weeks. And you can take that on. So you can do it once a month, but just make sure you know it's there. Then the third thing is you got to find your food system. And when we talk about your food system, why don't you write these 3 things down? You need food options when you're at home. So that's the simplest one. You know, when you're at home, as you go, you have your weekly grocery shopping. You have your foods that you like. I went to Costco on Thursday. Abby sends me my list, and we have that. I get my eggs. We get Hope or whole milk. We get the organic chicken and the ground turkey and tons of fruits and vegetables. All these particular things that we get. Sorry, I went a little out of focus here. Let me get back into it. There we go. So I have autofocus here. So sometimes my hand goes up is because I went out of focus. So we get all of those things for our own home aspect so we can make balanced meals. And let me show you a little meal we made. So this is a perfect PFC, protein, fat, carbohydrates, every 3 hours at home. This is a meal that Abby made for the family. And if you look at it here, you have scrambled eggs with some tomatoes, you have the avocado for the fat, and then you have some cucumber. So you have your protein being the eggs, you got the avocado for the fat, and then a gluten-free piece of bread. And that's what they ate. I had some oatmeal on the side rather than the gluten-free piece of bread. But that's simply when you have a stocked up house and you have your food systems where you have food available, you have a diversity, you can make boring food look great. That looks appetizing. So the most important thing, because you're probably at home the most, is having your home food system. Then the next one is you need your on-the-go food system. And when we talk about on-the-go, It's similar to what we did this weekend. Hunter had a soccer tournament. And I'm giving you my examples because these are real life examples. You know, we have an 11-year-old. We have a baby. I travel a lot. I'm busy just like you. I love food, mostly probably just like you. I'm married, all of these particular things. So when you look at a busy life, these are realistic approaches that will set you up to win beyond the 8 weeks. So on the go is more taking kids to sporting events, going to work, eating at work. It's when you're not at home and you're not really traveling. It's just on the go in your community. So this is what I did at Moe's as an example. You can do at every single restaurant. Let me just kind of show you the picture here. Now, Abby said when I posted this on Facebook, it didn't look appetizing to her. So everyone's got their own opinion on appetizing. But for me, this is a perfect meal that I love at Moe's here. I'll choose. So let me go through it. I do double chicken. So at any restaurant I go to, whether it's Moe's, which is a quick service restaurant in Georgia, all natural white meat, or I'm going to a more sit-down restaurant, I always do making sure that I get about my 5 to 6 ounces of protein. I choose lean protein. If I choose beef or something like that, I wouldn't add additional fat because that has fat, or salmon, or fish like salmon. But if I choose a lean protein like chicken, that's my first choice. Where's my protein? I double my chicken. I then say, where's my fat going to be? I'll either get guacamole or I'll get cheese. I wanted some light cheese on that, and I knew the chicken had a little bit of fat in it. So I got light cheese. And then I didn't just do salad. I got some lettuce and I got some cucumber, and then I got some brown rice. And that was my little chicken, cheese, rice, veggie bowl. And that's how easy it is to order at restaurants. Whatever you go to, where's your protein? Where's your fat? Where's your carbohydrates? And that's really on my go when I'm there. Now, in addition to on my go stuff, and you guys, everyone knows this, we see these posts in the community all the time, is you have to have a MRFK, a mobile readiness food kit. So you need the right tools. You need the container. You need the ice packs. You need, like I love Clean Canteen containers that I hold my nuts. I then have a nice cooler that sets me up. I do 6-pack bags, and then that sets me up with where I can put all my fruits and everything else that's going to go. And then you choose your favorite protein, fats, and carbs. I have my Zen Fuse always in there with my shaker. These are things that on the go, you're not at home, you're not truly traveling, you're just out and about. It could be as simple as a protein bar. It could be simple as a shaker with some Zen Fuse in it. It could be some hard-boiled eggs with some nuts. It's anything that's going to be PFC that's following the plan. And then the third thing is when you travel. So your food system is you need one at home, you need one on the go in the community, and then you need one when you travel. Had another client of mine, and she owns at home. She's great on the go, and she was struggling with traveling. And traveling is really easy because it's the same concept of when you're on the go. It's just you need to bring a little bit more. And then the only difference is when you're in a hotel, you have to make sure you ask for a fridge. And then most likely what she does is then when she lands, she goes to a grocery store and she gets any additional foods that she needs to bring back in. And that's what we do if we go to Disney, whether on vacation or not. If I don't have time to go to a grocery store, I just make sure I pack more. If I'm going out of the country, it's not as easy. But when we're talking about within the States, you can always win. So set your new goals, expand your food choices, and then make sure you're owning your 3 food systems, which is going to be at home, on the go in your community, and when you're traveling. And then the last 4 thing for beyond the 8 weeks, the last strategy is to have fun with your exercise. So I want everyone to say, have fun with my exercise. I want you to ask yourself this. How many times have you woken up and you told yourself you didn't want to exercise? I probably said that about 1,000 times. And the moment I tell myself I don't want to work out, there's a problem. There's a problem because when you don't want to work out is your boredom is setting in, a rut is developing, and you're one step away from falling out of rhythm and backsliding with your results. So a couple of pieces of advice I have for you. Number 1, pick up a sport. Sports make you feel like you're not exercising. When I'm playing soccer, I don't feel like I'm exercising. When I'm playing tennis, I don't feel like I'm exercising. So I do 2 sports a week. I play soccer twice a week, and then I'm working on playing tennis once a week. and I'm getting that's getting my fat burning cardio, my high intensity cardio in, and I don't even feel like I'm working out. Then a second strategy for you is to take up an activity. If you don't like sports, or even if you do like sports, take up an activity where you feel like you're having adventures, which is why we camp now. When we go hiking, we have take our dogs. You can do paddle boating. You can do rafting, and you can row. You can kayak. If you live by water, most people live by somewhat a lake, or if you live in the ocean, that's even better, by the ocean. But if you live by a lake then or a river, you can completely do that obviously in the summer and the fall. But you want to find things that you can do that are exciting. You can swim, things that are giving you a feeling that you're getting activity in, but it's more like an adventure, not repetition on a treadmill. And then the third thing with your exercise is you got to challenge yourself. I started off talking about you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. That's the reality with your health. Your exercise is no different. When you look at your food, when you look at how you're working out, if you don't feel like you're being challenged, if you're not keeping it exciting, you're not going to see the results that you want. So push yourself. What does that mean? That might mean an additional 5 pounds of weights. It might mean an additional 8 minutes on the paddleboard. It could mean, if you don't like sports, taking up a new sport. Something that puts you out of your comfort zone, not a ton, but 1 to 5% is going to start getting your body where you want it to be. And most importantly, moving beyond the 8 weeks. So let me recap before I end with the story. We're about 20 minutes in, and I want to make sure these stay 20 minutes tight for you. So you're in and out, great for you to share, great for you to rewatch, and great for you to continue improving your program and evolving into a way of life. So number one, you got to set new goals. You got to be clear and beyond the scale goals, really like goals that you want to get from a life perspective. Expand your food choices. Number two, add those new foods so that you prevent the boredom from setting in. Number three, own your food systems when you're at home, when you're on the go in the community, when you're traveling. And last, make your exercise exciting. Simply look at taking up a new sport, having fun activities, rather on the treadmill, paddleboarding, swimming, and challenging yourself. Guys, it's that easy. As we do these webcasts weekly, and I know it's a little more fun when Cassiah's here because we can do dialogue and we have guests, but this is more of a coaching video that's set up for you, that's speaking right to you to go beyond the 8 weeks. Myself, I've struggled with consistency many times in my life, and it's not easy. So when I talk to you about being a rut or rhythm, man, I'm so far from always being in rhythm. What I've learned through the years is that everyone's going to get bored. Everyone's going to hit some burnout. Everyone's going to fall into a rut. The difference for you and the difference for me is how quickly we get out of that rut. Staying in tune with how you're living the program, staying in tune with what adjustments you need to make will set you up to win forever. And just like my friend that I talked about in the beginning, you don't want to do it when you've already backslid 6 months. You want to get in tune with it now. So that's my call to action to you for this week. This week of coaching with Zen Project 8 is very simple. Wherever you are in the program, week 1, week 50, I want you to lay out how you plan on owning beyond the 8 weeks and continually making your program no longer a program, but truly a new way of life. Love our community. Love the interaction. ZP8, thank you so much for everything each of you do. Next week, we're going to bring it back to the community. So tomorrow in the Facebook group, in the closed Facebook group, which I think we have about 11,500 members now. So I love just the power of our community. I will be posting 3 of the hottest topics that people have been instant messaging me, things that I've been seeing in the group. And then once again, you're going to choose a topic for next week. We will have the most amazing host, Cassiah Jay, back next week with me, and we're going to have a very special guest. So share this, watch this. It will be immediately available for replay. And once again, your assignment this week is simple. Look beyond the 8 weeks and set up your plan to own those 4 strategies. Big shout out to the Bonnie Schrader for setting this up and hosting this and making sure that everything's recorded. ZP8 family, I'm giving you a virtual hug from Atlanta, Georgia. Till next week. And I'll be in the group. Ask away. Let's keep rocking it. Bye.